All right, welcome, MyNightOuters. DJ Psyco Eddie here. Welcome to another night of MyNightOut Radio. In studio with me tonight, we have George Gorner. I'm going to have to start calling you my occasional co-host like Tony does because...
No, Tony has copyrighted that phrase.
Oh, okay. My sometimes part-time co-host.
Sometime my part-time Full-time, part-time.
We'll have the
We'll think it over. Yeah.
Lawyers will hammer out the details. Also, we do have Tony Jones on the soundboard making us sound oh so good.
Now, I hedged my programming this week because I actually showed up to the show today already hungry because we're doing the show live. It's Sunday. There's a Sunday gravy that's at my house that'll be ready for me when I get home. That's been going since about 9 o'clock this morning. But the smell of the Sunday gravy, I'm starving. I'm freaking starving.
Well, see, now you just get the reap the benefits of a woman who knows how to cook.
Right.
I tell you, that was one of the best decisions you have ever made.
Sometimes it's tough finding a woman that's willing to cook.
Yes. Yeah. I'm engaged to a woman who insists that I'm going to share in the cooking.
Oh. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes not so much.
Yeah. She doesn't know how to cook. You better help.
Well, if you want to eat, yeah.
Right.
Sounds like you'll be going out to a lot of restaurants, which makes you the perfect co-host for MyNightOut Radio.
Well, yes, it would, except she's already mentioned that she wants us to tighten the old budget.
Looks like you have a lot of McDonald's in your future.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of those. Burger King every week keeps sending out those coupons.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Eating at the King's with,
Yeah, with that big scary Burger King head.
Well, it's okay. You can live vicariously through me because
I already do. I salivate every time I sit here at this.
And that's just because I'm so damn sexy. But I'll digress. I put my body in harm's way. I was going to use the term self-abuse, but that has a whole different connotation.
Yeah, you guys grew up Catholic. That means something completely different.
But I have tortured myself for this show yet again. I stopped by several local eateries and brew pubs. We'll be talking about that in just a little while. I just wanted to, get started off on just the right foot, just so you know at the level we're working at today. This morning, for those of you who are listening live, it's Mother's Day. If you're listening to the podcast, we're recording on Mother's Day because I went to visit my mom last night. Mm-hmm. So as I'm tooling around, I have my wife in the car. We're going through North Kingston, and we noticed some stores that are open that aren't usually open on Sundays, number one, and number two, why the hell are they open on Mother's Day? All your Mother's Day shopping needs, the Amazing Superstore was open.
Good God.
I don't even want to. Oh my goodness!
Does that create future Mother's Day?
Let's just look at it that way.
I don't know.
Young mothers.
All I know is there was at some point some business decision to say maybe it's a good idea on Mother's Day to have the availability of marital aids, and I don't know where you can go with that.
Yeah, you too can be a mother.
Well, this is true.
Now I'm kind of constantly on the go, so I almost like work out of my car a little bit, and I had some business at the print shop, which is next to the Amazing Superstore, the one you're talking about. And so I went through there, I did what I had to do, and then I was returning some emails, so I was sitting in my car in front of the print shop for about 15-20 minutes, and I realized, for the past half hour, I've been parked out in front of the Amazing Superstore on one of the busiest roads in North Kingstown.
Obviously trying to get up the courage to go in.
I can't, like I said, I can't go any further with this because I know where my mind's going. And
I believe the parking is in the rear.
Yep, you went there. Okay. Why don't we go to a break so I can maintain composure a little bit? We're going to leave here with a song you've heard before. A great bunch of guys. One of the messiest stage shows I've seen in a while. The Frenzy of Tongs. The name of the song is Doctor Who. We'll be back in a minute.
I will teach you the folly of your words. I will destroy you and demonstrate the power of the Daleks. Exterminate, annihilate, destroy. Exterminate, annihilate, destroy. Exterminate, annihilate, destroy.
Last survivor of the time was fought across the galaxy. And it's time to see travels to all the times and all the worlds. Usually he's got a sidekick, most of them are pretty girls. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Down on others, all cool. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Hey, Kano 2. And either 2. And Amy 2. Sarah J 2. Billy Piper's
right. That was Adieu, Forget City. Before that was Frenzy of Tongs. The name of that song was Doctor Who. Once again, like I said, I put myself in harm's way every week for your entertainment and your pleasure by going to all these different restaurants and eating ungodly amounts of good food and telling you about it.
Culinary threat.
Culinary threat. Okay, we'll go with that. Well, we're going to start off Friday. Friday, I hit Fat Bellies. Fat Bellies, they have several locations. I was at the one in Quonset Point at the North Kingston Golf Course. I'm pretty good friends with the bartender over there, pretty much because she sees me quite a bit during the week. But she makes an awesome Bloody Mary. I don't know why. Right now, Bloody Marys seem to be the drink that I gravitate towards. She makes an especially good one. She goes out of the way. She puts the fresh horseradish, the Tabasco. It's got a good heat to it. And what goes better with Bloody Marys, aside from everything, calamari. The Rhode Island State appetizer, state food. We'll go with that. This one had the garlic butter, banana peppers, and they tossed it and a little marinara on the side.
You had to go hit a direct hit right at the beginning of this show, didn't you?
It's going to get a lot worse. Now, aside from the Bloody Marys, they had a couple of beers there.
No, it wasn't the Bloody Marys. It was the calamari.
Well, you may or may not have already known this, but I am a absolute egg slut when it comes to breakfast foods. I am constantly going out for breakfast. That's the meal I gravitate towards when I do go out.
Okay.
I went to Doherty's Lakeside, which is a mile and a half down the road from us here. Luckily, it was a little bit later. I had a late start to the day, so it was about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I got there. Fortunately, they still had their brunch menu. I had what they call on the menu the Smoky and the Bandit, which is Eggs Benedict, but instead of the Canadian bacon or ham or whatever you want to call it, they put coffee-rubbed brisket.
Damn.
Smoked brisket, that's right. And I again, several beers. One beer I really have to tell you about because it hit a lot of notes that you don't normally get with beer, one of which is sweet.
Okay.
This is a fruit-flavored beer. It's Frambrose. I'm probably screwing it up. It's by Lambert Brewery. Frambrose, Frambroise. It tastes like you're drinking Chambord, a raspberry liqueur. It has a finish like you're eating sweet tarts. It's really good when you start off. Now, mind you, it's a little uncomfortable. You're getting a beer with a nice head on it, and the head is pink.
We're listening. We're waiting.
But it's a very good beer if you're only going to have one. Because, by the time I got to the bottom, the sweetness was just way too overpowering. Thankfully, I had the brisket to cut through the flavor of the raspberry. Right. Otherwise, it would have been
sickening sweet.
Exactly. Now, after that, of course, last night I visited my mom for Mother's Day because I knew I was going to be here, and my mom cooked, I cooked. I've got 3 sisters and a brother, so everyone cooked. We stuffed ourselves. I'll spare you that one. Needless to say, I will tell you one thing. I make a kick-ass pulled pork. If you want the recipe, hit me up, email, whatever. I'll give you the recipe. Lastly, today, I took my wife out. We have the 2 fur babies. We got the 2 dogs, and took her out for Mother's Day. We ended up at Chen's down in Wakefield. Mm-hmm. Toy Sun Chicken, which is kind of like chicken fingers, only it's not that big, fluffy, puffy breading on it. It's actually a very light breading.
Kind of like when you get the alternate fish and chips. Like it's a light, very light coating.
Yeah. Well, we got that as an appetizer, but then we ordered, you just go, not off menu, but things that you never think of doing. Mm-hmm. We got the Warsaw duck, which was out of this world. It is a huge, I want to say almost a pound and a half duck breast with the vegetables over it. And then we got the mushy pork. which I believe everyone knows what mushi is. It's all the different vegetables with the pork.
Right.
They give you the pancakes and the hoisin sauce, and yeah. So those were my 3 major hits for this week. I finally went slumming for the first time, and I want to say at least 6 to 8 months. I hit a chain restaurant. This morning for breakfast, we were starving. I went to Mickey D's.
Oh.
I was regretting that all. Yeah, I regretted that all the way until the second bathroom stop. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They must season their food with X-Lax because it just blew me up.
Actually, it is a good thing to eat to clean out the old system.
It's clean. If it was any cleaner, it would whistle.
There's a marketing hook. Come here before your next colonoscopy.
Well, you could drink the gallon of orange juice, or you can drink or eat the Big Mac.
Have a double cheese.
Which brings me to that movie that I watched over the weekend. Every now and then you just gotta go into the old movies. I watched the movie Super Size Me.
Okay.
And then went to McDonald's to eat, not the other way around.
Now, there's a companion movie to that called Super High Me, where it's the same, general flow to the movie, except instead of McDonald's every day, the guy smokes weed every day.
Well, actually, it was a 2-month session, we'll call it. The first month, he would not smoke. Now, he's a stand-up comic. He remembered all of his skits and all his lines and how things were supposed to flow, but his creativity was down.
Right.
And then the second month, he smoked an inordinate amount of weed.
Right.
His delivery was not as good, but yet his creativity level was through the roof. So something to think about when next time you're either partaking or you're going to poo-poo someone who is partaking.
Yeah, you have to wonder, though, how much of that is psychological.
Oh,
and
exactly.
how much of that is, I think therefore it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But as far as, I remember that Super Size Me movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
And it hit like a bombshell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, if you eat at McDonald's every day, every meal for how long was it?
A month.
A month. Then you are going to get sick.
You literally turn into a piece of veal.
Right. And I said to myself, who doesn't know that? I mean, if you eat and drink anything 3 meals a day for a month, it's not necessarily good.
Well, everything in moderation, including
Right.
moderation.
Right,
But,
exactly.
No, the basis of the movie, it is firm science, but it's let's investigate how you freeze water. You know what
Right.
the outcome's going to be.
Exactly.
And actually, in the movie, he did not make the full 30 days. He had
They
to stop.
brought him to the hospital long
he-
before then.
He was like, he thought he was having a heart attack or some major malfunction was going on like day 27, so he didn't make the full 30 days. Which is something.
And was he?
I know he was pretty screwed up, and it took him about 3 months to drop the weight back to where he was when he started, and it took him another 3 months after that till all of his blood levels and blood composition was back to where it was before he started this. And he actually went full vegetarian, if not vegan, because that's what his wife is. His wife is a vegan chef.
Which probably shocked his system again.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, that's enough talking about the food, because I could see the lust in your eyes from here.
Not for the McDonald's every day for a month, though.
But the Eggs Benedict with the coffee brisket
And
is
the
my pick of the week. The calamari.
Calamari.
Yeah, well, I'm actually not partial to seafood, if you could believe that. I eat seafood quite a bit, but I'm not. That's not my go-to. It's always beef.
Right. Well, the thing with calamari is that it has to be cooked exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the easiest foods to just screw up.
Well, when you're cooking calamari, you either have to flash fry it, cook it really quick, and it's done, or you have to cook it for an extended period of time, because that middle period, it turns into like a rubber band.
Exactly.
So you got to give it time to soften up again, or you flash it quickly where you just barely cook it enough where it's not hard yet.
Right.
So something to think about if you're going to cook calamari.
Same thing with duck. I had duck once, and it was absolutely delicious. But the first time I had duck was at a Chinese buffet,
Well-
and let's just say not so delicious.
Well, the thing with the Chinese buffet is you end up on that slippery slope of gourmet delicacy there. Because I don't know, I've eaten duck at Chinese restaurants where it's nothing but I think the feet. I'm not sure if I've ever had duck breast at a Chinese buffet.
At a buffet, no.
I might have had it at a couple of the more upscale Chinese restaurants, but even there, I'll tell you, if you order a half side of duck,
Yep.
Okay, you get the breast, you get half a breast, but you also get bones, gristle, and like I say, I don't think I've ever had a completely edible side of duck at a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, I have. Not only just today. I mean, I've gone out on cruises, and one night they'll have breast of duck, and it is absolutely amazing. And then once in a while, I've had it locally where you knew this thing just came out of the swamp because that's exactly what it tasted
Right,
like.
it may or may not be a duck,
Well, yeah, duck, goose,
seagull.
yeah, pigeon. But hey, at that, we'll digress. We'll go back to some music. Couple of bands that I've worked with quite a bit. Local bands. The first one we're going to play for you, we're going to lead out of here with Apollo's Resurrection. The name of the song is Eulogy of Society. We'll be back in a minute.
try to change your mind. That's not the case today, never with due time. That's what I tell you. That's what I tell you.
All right, my night outers, that was All for Blood. The name of that song, Anthem. Before that, we heard Apollo's Resurrection, Eulogy of Society. Now, while I was at Doherty's, enjoying my my brunch, I think it was Saturday, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, across the bar from me, there were two guys sitting there. Now, they had the full beer menu with all 100 and however many beers listed, and they would drink a few, have a couple of samples, and they were like making little check marks and taking notes on what they were drinking. And I curiosity got the best of me because then again, I could talk to just about anybody.
Right.
I asked them, are you writing a book or what are you doing? Why are you taking all these notes?
Sounds like reviewers.
Yeah, exactly. And it turns out they were just home brewers that were taking notes, seeing what they wanted to do in upcoming batches and upcoming brews that they were going to make.
Right. In other words, theft of flavor.
Exactly. Like I could overhear the conversation because we were close enough. It was quiet enough. And they were talking about, well, it tastes like this type of hops. I like this flavor. I like this body. This one's kind of high in alcohol, but we could go higher. Typical home brewers. Let's push the envelope. And it was just great to see that, they're trying to do something at home and try, they're trying to improve the quality, which is something I always strive for, try to, take that next step.
Right.
Mimicry and imitation is the best form of flattery. So all these different microbrews and whatever, you take something from them each time you try one. So every time you try a microbrew, think of what you would do differently.
Right. So
I just wanted to throw that out there because I know they're going to be listening because they asked me a couple of times how to get a hold of this radio show and station, and I had to throw that out to them. I also wanted to bring up June 2nd. June 2nd is going to be the networking night in the West Warwick, Coventry area.
As a very wise man once said, there's a need for mead.
It's going to be at the Greenwich Cove Meadery, yes. So supporting local businesses with other local businesses. And I was talking to a few people. They were asking me about it because I post everything up on Facebook and what have you, and I'll get messages from time to time. And the biggest question is, well, what kind of businesses are you looking for? Anybody. If you own a business, if you're part of a business and you want to promote it, or you just want to make connections with other businesses, like, if you're a plumber, everybody who has any type of plumbing in a building will someday need a plumber.
Anybody who eats as much as we do here on this show is going to need a plumber.
If you're a landscaper, some businesses need landscaping done. Or in case of just in this room, real estate. If you're doing real estate, you're trying to sell a house. The house has been unoccupied for a while. They're going to need a landscaper to clean it up. If you wash windows for a living, if you're whatever. So what I'm saying is, I don't care what you do, as long as either you're part of a business or you own it, please come down. You'll definitely be able to meet myself, Mr. Jones, see put the face to the voice that you're listening to. I know I have a few people coming down that actually aren't even business owners, but they want to network to try to see, they want to start a business. So talk to people in the area, see what the business atmosphere is like.
Spoiler, not so hot. But we're trying.
We need these get-togethers. They are there for a reason.
Well, if you're getting the network night going, as Tony has pointed out several times, there isn't a chamber of commerce in this area. They have it in Providence. They have it in South County.
They have it everywhere else.
Right. Yes. So the succulous, vacuous hole that is this area, business-wise, has no chamber of commerce. Maybe you get a couple businesses together and, I don't know, petition the town, city, village, area.
Good question. How do you
how does
okay,
one
there is
get a
yeah,
chamber of
I
commerce?
yeah,
asked-
where do they come from?
Right. I asked myself that exact same question, and I'm thinking about doing some research.
So we're going to have the Tony Jones Chamber of Commerce?
Which, by the way, and it's, I belong to and this isn't a knock on anyone, but I live in North Kingstown. North Kingstown has a Chamber of Commerce. I actually belong to the South County Chamber of Commerce because I wasn't overly enthusiastic about what the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce had to offer. So there are some options out there, great options throughout the state, but there's nothing here.
Right.
And that's the reason why we need these networking nights. So, before I start kicking a dead horse, because, well, I actually want to hear the music tonight. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, besides, dead horses don't like to be kicked.
Well, dead horses don't like to be kicked. Dead girls don't like to say no. That, by the way, that's a band, if you guys don't know the reference. We're going to leave here. Actually, we're going to take a break. We're going to leave here with a little bit of Pistol Shot Gypsy. By the way, if you want to be part of the show, you want to hit me up on Facebook /MyNightOut. If you want to check us out, you want to get some information from us, MyNightOut Radio at Verizon.net. MyNightOut RI, that's the website, MyNightOutRI.com for all your upcoming events. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at either DJ Psyco Eddie or MyNightOut RI. Definitely hit us up. We'll get you all the information. Here's some Pistol Shot Gypsy. Name of the song, Troy City Blues. We'll be back in a minute. All right, my night hours. That was Tri-City Blues by Pistol Shot Gypsy. Thanks for tuning in once again, ladies and gentlemen. I can't thank you enough. We just talked about the networking night. Unfortunately, I made a reference to the band Dead Girls Don't Say No. Unfortunately, I really can't play any of their music on the air. So
Probably
that's
have them
why,
in studio, though.
well, we could have them in the studio. Hopefully they can do a rendition or two of their songs that I can play, so that way I can let you guys listen to them and see how good they actually are. But in other news, there was a autism benefit this past weekend, and friends of ours from Roadkill, one of which is Josh McLaughlin, who is the guitarist also for Dead Girls Don't Say No. Now, these guys are in kind of a pickle because they are at an autism benefit singing a song called Green Card. However, someone who perpetually wants to be insulted, offended, or what have you, twisted that and thought they were saying retard.
Which makes no sense.
Well, at an autism benefit, using
No, I mean
that
in-
word would be
No, I mean
a
in
faux
the
pas.
in the music.
Yeah, well,
That's what people don't listen closely.
they don't listen closely, and they're looking for a reason to be offended.
Right.
I don't care. I know Tony's gotten himself into a jam once or twice, and even I have.
And just by having a cold and by a Rhode Island accents.
I had
Exactly.
I had a stuffy nose, and I was trying to promote the upcoming rock hunt, and it sounded like something else, and I almost got released from a station.
Well, I was talking at one of the festivals that I've done, and I was 15 feet above the floor in a perch, and I was talking about the people who were below me. Needless to say, yes, they were 15 feet below my feet were other people. And as I was talking, of course, I get a little excited. I start talking quickly.
Yeah.
Things happen. You're drinking, and well, if you look just below me, and what do you know? I got a talking.
And
to.
Eddie slept on the couch that night.
But did you get any positive results?
No. Unfortunately, I was dressed as the clown that night, and no one actually comes near me when I'm dressed.
Clown makeup? No, that's
Yeah.
generally a turnoff.
Anybody below me?
Well, I just had to break that. So, if you were at that benefit and you heard that song and you heard the whole hullabaloo, whoever started that rumor was wrong.
And the most insulting part of that is the fact that Roadkill donated their services to play said benefit.
Well, add into that another guy who was in Roadkill, Jimmy Fig, his son has autism.
Right.
So why would someone whose child is afflicted with this make derogatory remarks about it? And that's just beyond me.
Right.
So why don't we take another break? Because I'm just, like I said, this weekend kicked the crap out of me. Why don't we leave here with some 95 Hyde. The name of the song, Light This Place Up. We'll be back in a minute. All right, that was 95 Hyde. I believe they're now defunct, or at least they're on a hiatus right now. 95 Hyde, formerly the Jessica Prouty Band, light this place up. Now, this is a local band that I've seen quite a few times, actually. Definitely worth to see if they're back and about. The last thing I wanted to bring up is get to know the people who are frequenting the shows that you're doing. This is going out to all the musicians who listen in. I had the opportunity to meet someone while I was selling tickets to one of the shows that I've just done recently. And turns out the guy is a manager at one of the local markets. Now, you have the lower-end markets like Aldi and Price Right.
Right.
Then you have the one, I think it's called Whole Paycheck. I'm not really sure. where you need to mortgage your leg and your thigh and
yes.
probably one of your testicles to make a week's worth of groceries in the store. Well, then you have the mid-range. Stop and Shop is actually on the low end of the mid-range because they don't have the gourmet foods that you're looking for. The prep foods, the prepared foods are not as good. We'll just leave it at that.
Right.
But it leaves that little gap in between the low end and the gourmet shops, and that's when, Belmont Market, which is the one that I actually went to today. You also have the Dave's Markets and what have you. Anyways, the guy I met works at Belmont Market. His name is Tom. He's a really nice guy, and when you look at him when he's working. And there's the funny part to the story here. I dropped off the tickets while he was working. He was in a suit, shirt, sweater vest, and a tie. Very mellow, very mild. He didn't exude the persona of someone who would go to a heavy metal show.
Right.
And then when you see him out and about at these shows, it's night and day. It was a very pleasant surprise because here's a guy he's taking his wife and his kids to a metal show, and I'm thinking, all right, the kids are driving him nuts to go to this show.
Right.
When it's actually the dad that wants to go, and the kids are being dragged along.
There may be hope.
So there's the next generation of metalheads being formed by someone just through networking with different musicians and what have you.
Indoctrinated.
There's something going on there, and I like it. He actually brought the kids over to the DJ booth, which again was 15 feet off the deck, and there were a few people below us. So he comes in every show that he goes to. That I'm there, he gets a picture with me because it's either him, his wife, the kids, friends he's with. It's a really nice guy. So Tom, I know you're listening. Thanks for supporting local music, and ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap it up for us for tonight. Once again, MyNightOutRI.com for upcoming events, MyNightOut Radio at Verizon.net. If you have questions, comments, songs you want to submit, definitely hit us up also on Facebook /MyNightOut. Thank you once again for listening. We're going to leave here with another band that I picked up they're out of New York, actually. He contacted me. I contacted him. I forget which, but it's Korozik. The name of the song is Spellbound. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good night.